Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to be making a hand-tied silk bridal bouquet using two boxed bouquet sets. It was actually kind of a mouthful, but I chose here two different box sets that are going to be in my descriptions. I'll put the link down there if you want to make this bouquet yourself. So I stayed at monochromatic, all whites. There are a few off-white and kind of creamy colors, but one box has all white roses, and then the other box has kind of a mixed bag of peonies, roses, a little bit of greenery, a little bit of filler, just kind of all different stuff in shades of white, cream, and kind of it's almost a soft peach, but it's a little bit more cream than peach, I'd say. But so I wanted to make a bigger bouquet, and this was relatively inexpensive. If you're looking on a way for a way to um, design your own bouquet, but you didn't want to spend a whole lot of money and didn't want to do fresh flowers from the wholesale because that does get rather expensive. And sometimes shopping for ones and twosies of stems at a craft store for artificial flowers, it gets a little overwhelming and also gets a little pricey. So if you just wanted something that turns out really nice, that would be really easy, and just kind of not a whole lot of planning needs to go into this, I guess. Box bouquets are perfect for you. Um, so as I said, I got two of them here, and in that, the one box that has the mixed flowers in there was a calla lily, and I only had one of them, which kind of makes designing a little bit hard. But what I did was I held out the calla lily, and then that could be the groom's boutonniere. So there's quite a few flowers in each box set, and then you can kind of pick and choose what you would like for the boutonniere from there. You could also use quite a few of these flowers because it did make a very big bouquet for corsages and other boutonnieres and stuff like that. So I can't remember the exact total, but I want to say this was around $35, I think, for both bouquet sets. So that's pretty good. You could almost get a small wedding completely flowered out of just two box bouquet sets. So for hand tied flower or hand tied bouquets, you just want to kind of keep the stems going in the same direction. And I do have a video on how to do hand tied bouquets. I'll link it at the end there too. But it's just a matter of keeping the stems flowing in the same direction, kind of like the clock hands going around the clock in the same direction. You just want to keep everything flowing that way, and that kind of gives it more of a center point, and it doesn't create any unwanted focal points, I guess. Working with monochromatic colors, this case all white, is really easy and it's almost brainless. 'Cause the only thing you have to worry about is textures and shapes. You don't have to worry about colors, although I did try to keep those kind of creamier peach colored ones separate from each other. But if they ended up together, it's nothing too overwhelming to where your eye's going to go right to that every time. And that's what a focal point is. If you really want to bring the center of attention to a specific spot and then kind of force the viewer's eyes out throughout the whole bouquet, that's why you want to have that focal point. And it's just really kind of pleasing to the eye. And when you're carrying a bouquet that's just easy to look at, the viewers or your guests are going to see the bouquet, but most of all, they're going to see the bride. And it's just a really nice compliment to the bride. So that's what wedding flowers should be. Just kind of making the whole wedding party cohesive, and then just really really complimenting the bride, I guess. So as I go along, you've probably seen there, I had one of the heads break off of the stems. Something you want to think about doing with box bouquets is making sure each head is glued on. Some box bouquet sets come already glued, and that's super easy. Some come with the wire separate from the actual flower head itself. which is a little bit more of a pain to assemble, but again, this is a drop in the bucket compared to working with fresh flowers, which takes a lot more prep than just this. But you do want to be careful to make sure that all the heads are secure onto the stems. I recommend giving a little dab of glue on each one just to be safe, because nothing would be worse than walking down the aisle and then you have a trail of flower heads behind you. So with the box bouquet sets, the stems are, of course, just those wires, unlike fresh flowers or if you buy artificial flowers at the craft store, which usually have more of a realistic, kind of thicker stem to the flowers. So ultimately, even though I'm using all of these flowers, it's going to make a skinny handle. So you just want to keep that in mind. And if you think about dressing up that handle, you can absolutely still do a ribbon wrap around the handle. That always looks beautiful. Something you could consider doing is if you happen to have stems from previous projects, from artificial flowers that you've cut off before, or even if you have something that looks similar to stems at your house, just like maybe, I don't want to say dry sticks because I don't want to take it to look too woodsy, but if you have something that looks similar to an actual stem of a flower, you could wrap those stems around your handle of your bouquet here and kind of give it a natural, more realistic look to the handle. And I do have another video for that. I don't know how to link it into there, into the ends of the credit there. But there's different ways of dressing up the handle that will not only make it unique in your own, but it can glamorize it and really dress it up. But it can also just be an extension of the bouquet itself. You don't have to settle for just a bunch of wires sticking out. And ultimately, you could just cover it in some wax floral tape. If you do leave these wired stems natural like that, and you don't want to cover it with a ribbon, I strongly recommend wrapping it with a wax floral tape just to kind of keep them together. And it also keeps it from accidentally poking into you. So it's just something you'd want to consider doing. Now that I have everything together, see, I ended up not even using all the roses. You'll want to take a chenille stem or pipe cleaner. Mine, for some reason, is orange, but you usually want a green one. But you can just tie it off nice and tight at the top, or at the very top of the handle there. Hold it real secure, and then, as you can see, I'm using my wax floral tape, and I'm gonna go all the way down the handle there, and then eventually I will cover it with a ribbon. But there we go. It's just a hand-tied, roundy-moundy traditional wedding bouquet, but I used 2 box bouquet sets to bring it together. Thank you so much for watching.